Welcome to the Health on Track podcast. Let's talk well-being.
Welcome to the Health on Track podcast, your regular shot of wellness. I'm Sabah, the Partnership and Wellbeing Manager at GIG Gulf Insurance. Parenting, it's one of the most rewarding and demanding journeys a person can embark on. It calls for patience, empathy, resilience, and unconditional love. There is no universal manual, no perfect formula, but in today's rapidly changing world, raising children comes with new challenges. From screen time and social media to shifting social norms and mental health concerns. Joining us today is Dr. Deepa Khemani, a certified life coach who specializes in parenting and teenage mentoring. With extensive experience helping families navigate challenges like peer pressure, communication breakdowns, and digital dependence, Dr. Deepa empowers parents and teenagers alike to thrive in today's environment. Welcome to the podcast, Dr. Deepa. We're happy to have you here with us today.
Thank you, Sabah, for asking me that question. By qualification, I am a dentist, but I took a sabbatical of 10 to 12 years to be with my children. And then I decided that, I can start my second innings. I did a ABA course, which is for special needs children, and did volunteer for some time. And then I slowly drifted towards parenting because I love being around children. And post-COVID, there were a lot of challenges which the parents, including me, were facing, especially with the gadgets. So what happened as a learning for myself, then continued into a passion to help other parents and teenagers. I'm on a mission to impact the coming generation to have a very balanced and holistic life.
That's very interesting to move from a dentist to life parenting and life coach. Dr. Deepa, do you think life parenting is more challenging today ever than before?
I completely agree with you, Sabah, because if we look at 2 decades back or so, life was less challenging. We had a huge community or the support system, for parents to raise the children. As you know, that it takes a village to raise a child, and that is missing in today's times. That we are living in nuclear families, and most of us are living abroad. Both the parents are working, the demands of life have increased, and with the advent of social media, which is kind of a Pandora's box of troubles at times, so parenting has become a little Herculean task, I would say. And parents don't know how to navigate with the newer challenges that have come up. So yes, but with the right tools and techniques or by learning new skills, it can become very easy.
So parenting has evolved over the past decades. What are the most common concerns that modern parents come with to you?
The most common concern that parents come up to me is the communication breakdown. The second one, almost on the same lines, is the digital addiction. Um, I think addiction wouldn't be the right word, it would be overuse. That would be a softer word. So, what is happening is the children are mostly on their gadgets, so they are cut off from the external world. So they really don't know how to communicate their feelings, even though in the environment or in the social media everybody's talking about emotions, you should speak up, but they don't know how to do that. When it comes to a face-to-face conversation, they are not able to express it in the right way. And with the excessive use of gadgets, uh, the children have become very aggressive. They don't know where to draw the line when it is coming to how to talk to an adult or how to talk to a peer. So this challenge widens the gap, even if the parent is trying to build that bridge of communication with their child or a teenager, that is not able to happen. Now here, uh, parents don't know what kind of words to use, because we all know that, the words have the power. How you speak them. Now here, there are four things which I, even before I talk to parents about any challenge, what I observe in them is the kind of words they are using, the tone, the pitch, the volume, and the speed with which they are speaking. Now tell me, Sabah, can you scold a person smiling? No, you cannot. Can you get angry while smiling? No. So, when we are angry, when a parent is angry, when we are feeling that there is a meltdown happening, then it's better that you stop there, take a pause, take a step back, and say, okay, this issue is important, but let's hold it here right now, and then we will discuss it when we both are calm. Now that builds the bridge. That gives you the leverage to go back and think what you're supposed to speak in what way. When we raise our tone, generally parents think that, we have the authority. So we should or we can raise our voice, but that's not happening. Earlier, parenting was about authority, but the dimensions have changed now. Now, the parenting is all about the emotional resilience, how you're able to negotiate and communicate with your child. So, this shift is what parents need to understand and then go ahead talking to the child.
So social media is not only affecting the kids' behavior or attitude, it has an impact on the parenting landscape as well, correct?
Parents are the role models for their children, right? So when the parents see the children see that the parents are mindlessly scrolling or whiling away their time, then you cannot tell the child not to do that. So this here again, awareness about your own self comes into the picture. Now I had while conducting an offline workshop of parents and children, a 6-year-old came to me and said, I understood, Dr. Deepa, what you said, but can you take a session for my mother also? And I was like, why is that so? And she's like, you know what? After she puts us to sleep, I can hear the notifications. And I was like, yeah, that's right. So the children are seeing what we are doing. They don't hear what we say, but they see what we are doing and they just replicate that. So here being a role model is very important for parents when it comes to social media. What we are watching, if we do it together, sit down and probably show them that my job demands me to be on the laptop for a little longer. You know, when children sometimes question, you are always on the laptop. So you can tell them that, look, this is the work I'm supposed to do, but yes, I am going to also set a healthy boundary between my professional and personal life. And this is something very important which puts the bread and butter to the table. When you communicate clearly to the child why you are doing what you're doing, what will be the impact of it, then they understand things better.
So it's always about explanation and giving advice for teens.
Explaining, yes. Not giving advice. Teenagers are a breed who believe, as I mentioned, communication, you just suggest them. Give them the reasons, suggest them. That I suggest that, it's been 2 hours watching the laptop. I suggest let's go for a walk. That will be more receptive. Otherwise, if you say advice, they find it attacking on them. Or they might say that, okay, another lecture coming in. So they don't want those lectures. They are in a generation where they want to try and see everything. They want to fail. They want to see things for themselves. So you can just say, I suggest you give a break to your eyes. They look red once or twice and then just leave it there. They hear everything. They understand everything, and when the right time comes, they listen also and they follow things also. This is something very natural for teenagers. That is because their hormones are changing. A sense of self identity is forming. In that phase, what happens is they want to repulse everything that you say. They have to go against. It's not that they're doing it, out of the fact that they want to trouble you or hurt you or harm you, but it's coming naturally to them as they are growing and making their own identity. So here, my request to the parents is to stay calm. Don't take any of the words that the teenagers speak, which might be hurtful to heart. Don't let your ego come in. Keep your ego in the pocket. Take a deep breath if the situation is going out of control, and give a suggestion and leave it there. Today, tomorrow, day after, it will be followed.
And to be always ready for the why question. Teens, they don't like to receive orders, and there is, after each order, there is the why. So parents needs to have a proper answer for that question, right?
Yes, they need to have answers, and there will be times when the questions from children or teenagers can make you uncomfortable. And at the same time, you may not even know all the answers. After all, you are not Google or not even ChatGPT. So, here, uh, showing your vulnerability to them, that if I speak in the language of teenagers, hey bro, hey dude, I don't know, let me go back, find out, and come back, and then we can sit and have a discussion over it. So this, if you do, this is telling the teenager that it's okay not to know everything. It is okay to show your vulnerability to your inner circle. So you are in a practicality giving them life lessons.
So the next question here, do you think there is anything called healthy engagement with social media for teens?
Yes, of course there is. See, whatever the humans have made, it always has a positive as well as a negative side to it. Where we draw the boundary is up to us. 20 years back, when we were studying in school, the essay that was given to us was, is science a boon or a bane? Right? Today it is AI is a boon or a bane, or how much of social media. Now there are many teenagers who are doing wonderful things, like making those apps, lot of other creative work that is coming out. At the click of the button, you can learn a language or take lessons from, miles away from a university or a professor. So the learning has become very easy. But yes, at the same time, there are a lot of children who get way highly influenced by the social media, and they indulge in passive pleasure of just scrolling mindlessly, or getting even more deeper into the loop or the pattern, which going further becomes addiction. So here again, the role of the parents and the educational institutions come into play. Uh, what parents can do is create an awareness about the social media literacy, is what I would call it, which in my opinion, should start right from, for a 4 or 5 year old, telling them that, like a pencil, notebook, this device that you're carrying is a tool that you have to use for your own self, where to stop it. As the class finishes, we do keep the notebooks inside the bag. Similarly, we have to teach them, because human children, or probably if you look at it in nature, animals, we teach our children everything. So this also need to be taught, that what is good, what is bad, because at times for younger children, social media can become very overwhelming. One wrong click, something which is not age appropriate that comes up on the screen, the algorithm will pick it up it is very dangerous. The same kind of things will repeatedly being shown to the child, which is not age appropriate, and that exposure cannot be reverted.
So, screen time limitation, is there any practical steps that parents can take to set boundaries around this?
Yes, of course. As I always tell my parents, have number one, your parenting goals in place. That is between you and your partner. That is number one. Okay. Number two, these are for those parents whose children are not yet exposed to social media or very little exposure is there, explaining them that what a social media is for and when can they have it, setting rules and boundaries around it with the consent of the child. Now, for younger children, you can still control. For children probably up from the age of 6 and onwards, because they are seeing a lot of things in school, so you make them sit down, make them understand why you are doing it. Now, it is a tough job. I will agree, and I am with the parents for that, because you are moving against the tide. You are moving against what's socially happening. Okay. But for the interest of your child, because no other institution will take responsibility for your child. It's your child, you have to do it for them. No school, no other place will take responsibility. So you have to sit down and say, these are some negotiable rules, and these are a set of non negotiable rules for the children. Now, when it comes to teenagers, there will be a lot of back answering, there will be a lot of resistance. Uh, so, here you have to sit down and make the rules with them, keeping your thoughts in the, on the paper in front of them, and say, these are the reasons why we want that you do use social media if you want to stay in touch or connected with your friends, but it should be limited. And you have to be in their world. Certain rules like, okay, I'm also going to be your friend on the social media platform so I can see what you're doing. Um, there are times wherein girls who have a lower self-esteem, they get into the trap when a anonymous boy appreciates them, so here creating awareness with your child is important, that you're not going to be talking to any stranger, you're not going to share your location, pictures, or any inappropriate content, because what could be the repercussions of that in the future, you don't know. Children are aware these days about the digital footprints that they are leaving. So creating and educating that awareness in your child, and then selectively giving them uh, is the way ahead. Now, let me tell you here, the teenagers will flirt with the boundaries. Be prepared for that. Don't be very rigid, because again, that will spoil your relationship. So, if they flirt to some extent, just ignore, but it goes way beyond, then even the consequences should be set, uh, sitting down with the teenager. What if you go beyond the time? What if we see that you're talking to people whom you don't know or something? uh, let them only set the consequences for their behavior.
In some cases, the resistance and the emotional pushback, especially in the teenagers group, it will go deeper, more deeper to anger issue. And here it will become more difficult to deal with as parents. So your advice at this step is just to ignore and stop the conversation at this level and come back again to the same topic after a while? Or do you advise on other strategies?
See, to certain extent, if all goes okay, parents should try and handle things by themselves. But if you, as your question says, it goes beyond a certain extent, then I would say that the family dynamics is what comes into play. Why is the child being so aggressive? Because we see aggression when the child gets addicted. It's like, 8 to 10 hours per day, or what kind of reward is the child getting out of that activity, what they are doing. Because we know that all the gamings and everything, they are all algorithm based. They give you rewards at the slightest achievement, and it's a loop wherein the child gets stuck. It's imaginary world. So when the parent realizes that these kind of issues are happening, then seeking professional help is very important. Now here, uh, a coach understands the reasons why this is happening. Again, what kind of relationship you have had for the past, let's say the child is 14 years. So, what relationship you have had for the past 12 years with the child while he or she was growing up? Because it is said, 0 to 7 years, the children are like sponge. They absorb everything from their environment. Going forward, they question you a little bit from the age of 7 to 10 or 11, but still they listen to you. In teenagers, whatever parenting you have done in all these 12 years, the result will start coming in. So if you have had any disturbance at home, if you have hit the child, if you have not given enough time to the child, all these will now start showing up in the teenage years. The anger, which had been probably suppressed. So here I always advise parents that a professional help is needed to understand the root cause of the challenge and then address it accordingly.
So, doctor, the exposure of teens on social media, it makes them facing some online bullying. What are the signs that parents could notice that and make them feel or think that their kids might have been facing this issue?
Yeah, that's a question which all parents need to know. Um, there are certain set of children earlier when social media was not there. The bullies were there. They used to openly bully the child who was weaker, who had a lower self-esteem, who wouldn't speak up in class. Okay, but with the advent of social media, those aggressive people have also come on to the social media platforms and started bullying. And even those who were bullied now think that social media is a platform where nobody knows, we can do anything anonymously. So even they have started daring to bully online. Now it's become 24/7 across all platforms. Um, Children, especially boys, are being prompted for more of a risky behavior. You know, keeping in mind that kind of aggression that they have naturally, which should be constructively used, they are being instigated for those risky behaviors. On the other side, the girls are being more talked about on the beauty aspect, the physical beauty, wherein, you know, the ideal figure or those kind of challenges which they are told to do. So here, what signs to look out for is, if your child who was earlier bubbly, mixing with the friends or coming out, is now secluded in the room, doesn't talk to anybody, long hours on the device, the eyes are red, the sleep is disturbed, even at the slightest of issue, there is excessive aggression being shown, the food is being skipped, and you know, everything in their routine is gone for a toss, including the academics, wherein the teachers will complain that, you know, the child is present in the class but kind of physically absent, right? So all these signs over a period of time, if you see, then it is a red flag and parents should immediately take some professional help.
Do you think, doctor, like long exposure to screen time might affect the children's attention and the emotional development?
Absolutely, it does. Um, the attention span has gone down, not only for children, but even for, adults. When we are scrolling, when YouTube had come, we wouldn't mind watching a longer video. But today, a 30-second reel and we just scroll. Oh, not interesting, move ahead. Not interesting, move ahead. So similar patterns are being seen even for children. The attention span has gone down to 7 to 8 seconds according to the statistics. And this is a cause of concern when it even comes to the academics. They are not able to focus properly. They can't sit in one place. Anything that is slow has become boring for them, so they don't want to do it. And when you give them unstructured time, they don't know what to do about it. They are lost. They start fidgeting. So when these things are happening, on the emotional aspect, well, there is a lot of awareness being created about emotions. Movies like Inside Out and all are there, but it's like, you have an ocean of knowledge in front of you, but you don't know what is the right one for you, how to sieve through that information which is age appropriate for you. Now here the parents come into picture, or an adult or a matured individual, because children are not able to handle their emotions. They can break down into tears. The resilience has gone for a toss. So now these skills which were, just there in earlier times, now the today's generation need to be taught these simple skills which have become important.
What is the reason for this? Why do you think today's children are less equipped to handle boredom and or to process their emotions?
The reason is very simple. We don't give them that unstructured time. There was a time when children were left to be by themselves during summer vacations, manage it themselves. Then came a time wherein the parents thought, oh, I didn't go for this class or that class. So again, one after the other, children were put into the class. Now today's generation, they have social media for everything. So they don't know, the interaction is less. So they don't know that even if a person slightly hits you, it's not bullying. As I mentioned, the information is there so much, so they've picked up what they want to pick up and what they want to relate to. The cognitive functions are not developing as they should be. Now, tell me one thing, a 3-year-old or even a 1-year-old whose human functions of speed, of the excessive lights, it's developed slowly. But today, those high-speed games, high lights, they get so used to it. So this is the reason where the cognition is not happening at the right time. So they are not able to process the emotions. Now there is another factor that comes into play, is that the communication which I mentioned, they are not able to communicate well. They know, okay, this is this emotion, this is that emotion, it was taught in school, but how to speak it out? The time that the parents spend with the children has reduced.
So it's a little bit about the guilty feeling of the parents. You know, most of the parents are working long hours and kids are alone at home after school time. So there is always this guilty feeling like we want to provide them with everything. And on the other side, you hear a lot of this I'm bored word from the kids' side. Mm-hmm. Because they are relating this that they are bored sitting at home and they have nothing to do maybe during the days. So how parents should balance between giving them what they want to give or what they have, and refraining from providing everything, not spoiling the kids?
Oh, that's a very simple process for it. Let the child and the parents sit down and make a list of needs and wants. It's very simple. Needs is something which they need. Want, probably the child can come and say that, the latest iPhone has been launched, so I want it. But that's not a need. You already have a phone which is serving the purpose to be in, contact with the parents when needed. So that becomes a want. Now you have to start reasoning out with the child. What if you get it? What will happen? What if you don't get it? What will happen? Does it impact your life? Again, as I said, reasoning out has to come on from the parent's side. For the parents, I would like to say yes. It is good to be working. You have to achieve, your career milestones as well to feel fulfilled inside. But drawing a healthy balance is very important, because if you have a child, then it is important that instead of the gifts that you're giving, give your time, give your undivided attention to the child in whatever way. Don't keep the family environment only for the weekends. It has to be every day. I had a parents, recently. Yeah, we go out for Saturday breakfast and lunch, and I was like, what about the working days? Children need that connect every day. You have, for smaller children, you have to follow the 180-second rule, which is, 3 minutes of hug in the morning as soon as they get up, 3 minutes when they come back from the school or from outside, and 3 minutes before they hit the bed. That physical connection plays a very important role in the child's fears being alleviated, that my parent is there for me. In whatever possible ways, do that. If the afternoon one is not possible due to your work hours, make sure that in the evening you do it twice. Listen to the child. When the child sees that, okay, my mom kept the phone aside and said, okay, let me hear what you did in school. How was your day? What did you feel? Children don't need more than 3 to 4 minutes to finish off their excitement, because they live in the present. We are always living in either the past or the future as adults. So, this is something we need to learn from the children, to live in the present. And whatever healthy habits we are practicing, be it meditation, any fitness goal, is what children will see. What we eat, that they will see. What digital boundaries that we have set for ourselves, when they see us doing it, that okay, 10:30 my phone goes off. They see that. And then when you have done it over a period of time, and then you ask them that we need to keep it, they will automatically do it.
What is your final advice to parents who feels overwhelmed and guilty or even unsure if they are doing it right?
As I mentioned in the beginning, um, the parenting that has been done over the years by our parents was right. With today's changing times, there are some skills, some tools and techniques which we need to learn. For that, they can, take few sessions with the coach. That is very important for them to understand what is the personality of their child, how they can talk or communicate. If your child is auditory, then you have to speak more of the words. If your child is more visual, then you have to speak those kind. If your child is a person with a dominant personality, then you cannot boss around. Then you have to maneuver your ways. If your child is, a compliant personality, then you talk that way. So when you educate yourself and learn those new tools and techniques, then, it's like armed with those tools, when you go and enter and you reparent, it's fun. I mean, parents come and tell me terrible teens, and I tell them, I'm having a ball of my life. I have 2 teenagers. It's a terrific time. Now, that does not mean that I don't have rough days or a week as well. But how do I stay calm during that storm is up to me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Deepa, for sharing your experience and insights. It's been a very enlightening conversation. To all the parents listening, please remember this. There is no such thing as perfect parenting. What matters is being present, learning along the way, and giving yourself grace. You're doing better than you think. If this episode resonated with you, be sure to share it with fellow parents and loved ones. You can find us on YouTube video and music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Anghami, and Amazon Music. Stay well and keep thriving.